Martin Lawrence began his career as a stand-up comedian in Washington, D.C. and eventually transitioned into acting, making a name for himself. Lawrence's role in the monumental film Do the Right Thing marked his feature film debut and helped launch him into superstardom. Despite not being the main character, Lawrence's involvement in Do the Right Thing, alongside other talented actors, was a key moment in his career. During his father's service in the U.S. military, Martin Lawrence was born in Frankfurt, Germany before his family moved to America. They decided on the Washington, D.C. area, where Martin proceeded to grow up, specifically, in Landover, Maryland. Undersized as a kid, Martin was often involved in fist fights growing up, and during his teen years, he decided to hone his punching prowess in the realm of amateur boxing. He even became a Golden Gloves contender, but transitioned to a new vocation fairly soon thereafter. That would be stand-up comedy, but these days, Martin Lawrence is primarily known for his aptitude as an actor, making a name for himself in Hollywood thanks to movies like Bad Boys, 1995, as well as the hit show Martin, 1992 to 1997. He co-starred alongside Will Smith in the former title, and they've reprised their respective roles in several sequels, like the recent Bad Boys, Ride or Die, 2024. Though not in a starring role, he also debuted in an all-time great movie called Do the Right Thing, 1989, written and directed by the talented Spike Lee. It's widely regarded as an all-time great of American cinema, and even one of the best movies ever made. Justifiably so. It runs a wonderful gamut of emotion, with characters like Martin's providing an endless sense of humor. Debuting in a film of this caliber helped launch him into superstardom, but of course, it wasn't overnight that he actually landed the role. Dipping his toes into the waters of entertainment, Martin Lawrence began his career as a stand-up comedian around the Washington, D.C. area. After moving to New York at the suggestion of a fellow comedian, Martin found himself headlining at a venue called The Improv, which was home to such famous figures as Richard Pryor and Jay Leno. Soon after joining those legendary ranks, Martin landed a spot on a well-known reality show called Star Search, which originally aired from 1983 to 1995. He didn't come out victorious, but Star Search proved a pivotal point in Martin's career. Executives at Columbia Pictures Television saw his performance and were so impressed that they offered the future superstar his first job as an actor. The role was in What's Happening Now? 1985 to 1988, a sitcom by Eric Monty, who also created the original series on which this show was based. A sequel to What's Happening? 1976 to 1979, it features Martin Lawrence as Maurice Warfield in all 22 episodes of its third and final season. Though both shows have waned in name value, What's Happening Now? Is nonetheless the title that introduced Martin to a wider array of audiences. That is, until its sudden cancellation. From there, Lawrence played supporting roles in various titles before making a bona fide name for himself, with one of his earliest acting efforts being in a masterful film from the 80s. Debuting in an all-time grade A stylistic day-in-the-life story, Do the Right Thing follows Mookie, played by Spike Lee himself, who traverses social dilemmas in an African-American neighborhood of North Brooklyn. As a delivery guy at a local pizzeria, Mookie works for an Italian-American named Sal, who's played by Danny Aiello. Though rather unknown, that thespian was in the running for Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards thanks to Do the Right Thing, while the movie's auteur was also in contention for Best Original Screenplay. They both came up short, but still, a pair of nominations at the Academy Awards puts the caliber of this title on front-and-center display. What's more, it's since been selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry, showcased as a technical masterpiece of cinematography and editing, while Lee is credited with a script that defined a generation. And for what it's worth, these characters are played perfectly by some truly talented names, not just those who portray the pizzeria employees. Joining the auteur and Danny Aiello among its star-studded cast are such actors as Samuel L. Jackson, Giancarlo Esposito, and John Turturro. There's also Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, a famous married couple who were both frequent collaborators of their good friend Spike Lee. Little do some fans remember, another cast member in Do the Right Thing was the talented Martin Lawrence, with this all-time great project even marking his feature film debut.